from Sierra Sewing, Quilting, and Vacuums, and today we're talking about a new product that we have in the store, and this is what we call Hot Fix Adhesive. It's something we just got in. One of our teachers recommended it, and I have to try everything out myself, and I've decided that I really like this. We sell it here. It's just on a roll. We sell it by the yard. What I like about it is that when I'm doing an applique, other products that I've used tend to get really stiff and they gum up your needle, and I haven't had any issues with that happening with this product at all. The other thing that you want to pay attention to is that you want to follow the directions. So on this, you want to steam it, or you want to put it down with a firm iron and press that for, it says 15 to 20 seconds, and I don't think you can overpress it. So other products, if I leave my iron down that long, either I melt it off or it won't stick anymore. So this, a little bit different than the other products that you use. So be sure you follow the directions. So let's kind of talk about how we use this. So this is just a little sliver of it. You can see when I put it down on my shape that I want to applique, I can see through that. It's pretty opaque, and if I wanted to, I can just trace that with a pencil really easily, and I can see my lines. So this is one I did earlier. I traced this with the Sharpie so you guys could see it better. But you're just gonna trace the shape and then rough cut it so that I can fuse it to my background fabric. So I'm just gonna take my fabric. I am going to put it on the back side of my fabric and bring it over here to my really hot iron. I've got it on the linen setting actually. And I'm gonna just hold that down there 15 to 20 seconds. I don't wanna move it back and forth. I just wanna hold it nice and firm. And then I'm gonna move it to the other section so that that's gonna have a good bond. All right. Let it cool, because it is really hot at this point. And here's one that I already have ready to go. But now I've got a rough cut on there. I've got a nice crisp line on there. So when I cut it out, I only have to cut the actual shape one time. I'm gonna take that. And I'm not even using fabric scissors. These are paper scissors, and they're cutting through both layers really nicely, so that's great. So now I've got that perfect applique shape. All I have to do is peel off that paper. So now all I have to do is peel off the paper off the back. I kind of have this one started a little bit, but you see the shiny side, and that is just a sheet of glue on the back. So now it's ready to put onto my background fabric. Once again, I'm just gonna take it over to my iron, fuse it to the background fabric, 15 to 20 seconds in each spot, and that will give you a permanent bond. So you can wash it, you can dry it. It's not stiff at all, and again, it won't glue up your needle. So great product, give it a try. Hot Fix Adhesive, we have it here at Sierra Sewing. Thanks so much, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, Sue here from Sierra Sewing, Quilting, and Vacuums. Hope you're having a great day. Today we are gonna play with some applique. Applique is one of my favorite things, and I love to do it on the machine. And one day, this is one that I was just sewing out. I just didn't have anything better to do. Ha ha ha, that's not a thing. I was messing around, and I wanted to know why I have all these stitches that look like a blanket stitch is what the typical use for applique. Why I have so many on my machine that look like they stitch out just alike. So I decided to just get a little scrap of fabric and test them out. So when I did that, I hope you can see this okay. I tested this one, and then right next to it was this stitch, and I wanted to know why those were different. And it turns out that on my machine, the difference is one stitched out in the middle of the machine and one stitched out to the right. So not a huge difference in the actual stitch. Again, I can change the length and the width to whatever I want. But it was just interesting to know what the difference of that was. And I just went kind of crazy and I stitched a lot of those stitches out. This is one that I actually thought I would really like, but when I actually stitched it out, it was way too chunky and I really haven't found a good use for it yet. I still think it's a cool stitch, but I haven't been able to use it for applique too much. As I go down the line, some of these are wider, some of them are facing the other direction, but the stitch that I decided that I really like is this one here. And the reason that I like it is it does 3 stitches on the outside of the shape, and then the bite is just 1 stitch. So it'll do 3 back and forth and back, and then bite, back and forth and back, and then bite. And what that does is it gives me a good thread coverage around the outside of my shape, which I really like. So anyway, these are just a bunch of them that I was playing with. One day here at the store, I got on one of our Janome machines, and look at all the different applications that one has. So again, some of them do stitches in between the bites, some of them do extra stitches in the bite. So it's nice to have all those options. Let's see what we can do with some of those. So this is a sample that I have. And again, around the outside of each shape, I've got the stitch that goes back and forth and back and then bites in. And I really like that it kind of gives me kind of like a little outline around the outside of that flower that kind of defines it a little bit. The other thing that you want to pay attention to when you're stitching is that I want all of the bites of my the blanket stitch to kind of radiate around an imaginary center point. So these are all kind of radiating to a middle here. Then when I get to the actual V, I want that to poke into the actual center of the flower. And when I come to the next petal, they'll go around this imaginary center. So you got to kind of pay attention to how you want your stitches to end up. You want it to stitch right along the outside edge of the fabric and actually just outside of the fabric, but then to bite in to catch it. So that's going to hold it down in place really well. So this is the stitch that I used around the outside of the flower. Now the stem, I didn't care so much about highlighting that, so I just went fast on that one and did the one in, one bite, one in, one bite. So actually it stitched a little easier for me. This stitch, I don't know if you can see it very clearly on this one, but this one actually, the first bite goes in, the next bite comes out. So that I thought was a really nice stitch to go around these leaves, because sometimes leaves have little spiky things on there. You're not limited to just a blanket stitch when you're doing applique though. So there's hundreds of stitches on some of these new machines. So this one I thought was really fun, kind of this X stitch, and I thought that was really kind of cool to highlight the center of that flower. So you're not limited to just that blanket stitch. This one we had a lot of fun with. So around the outside of these little daisy petals, this one I call the Frankenstein stitch. It looks like Frankenstein's lacings there. But instead of just one in and then a bite, it actually bites both directions. But I thought that was a really cool outline for some of these. This is, again, it's that same stitch. Maybe you can see it better on this one. But the first bite goes in, the next stitch, it bites out. But again, kind of a cool effect for that leaf. This one around the center, this is actually an heirloom stitch. But it stitches out like a little diamond. But around the center of that flower, I think it kind of makes it look lacy. So anyway, that's kind of my challenge, is to see, you know, different ways that you can play with some of those fun stitches that you have on your machine. So anyway, give it a try, and I hope you have a lot of fun with this. Thanks so much, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.